Greetings, brothers and sisters, and welcome to Branch 1779's Full Coverage. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Branch 1779's Full Coverage informational video series. In today's episode, we're going to talk about your Weingarten Rights, what they are, and how to invoke them. Folks, I'm John Mitchell, President of Branch 1779, and it's my pleasure to be here with you again. Most of us know what Miranda rights are. Whether you've seen it in the movies or TV or perhaps in real life, Miranda rights are what you hear law enforcement officers say when they're making an arrest. It's the you have the right to remain silent stuff. Weingarten rights are much different and are only available to employees covered under labor agreements like city carriers. So what are Weingarten rights? Well, Weingarten rights are afforded to employees by way of federal labor law. The Supreme Court ruled in 1975, in a case of the National Labor Relations Board versus J. Weingarten, that each employee possesses the right to union representation during any questioning which they reasonably suspect could result in discipline. Now, these rights have since become known as Weingarten rights, and they are available to each of you in certain situations. These rights can be summoned during an investigative interview, whether the questions are fact-finding in nature or the employer is attempting to make a determination on an employee's guilt and whether discipline is warranted. Usually, management will conduct this investigation in a closed room somewhere in the office. However, in the 21st century, these questions could be raised through phone calls, small talk at your case on the floor, text messages, or any number of other mediums. As a rule of thumb, if you're asked a question that you reasonably believe could lead to the potential of disciplinary action, then ask for a steward. The employee's opinion of what is reasonable depends on the facts, circumstances, and should be judged on a case-by-case basis. Now, normally, these questions are pretty easy to discern. They're questions about an accident, delaying mail, calling in sick, or any number of things. Yet, there are more subtle questions that may not initially set off alarm bells. So remember, when this happens, to be measured in how you answer your questions, and if in doubt, ask for your steward. Let's take a quick look at a possible scenario on how your Weingarten rights should be exercised.
Good morning. The postmaster told me you extended your lunch yesterday. This report shows that you took 37 minutes and the scanner didn't move the whole time. This is serious and we need to talk about it.
I took my break at my normal lunch spot. I didn't go over.
Look, this report doesn't lie. Why did you steal time from the Postal Service? When the scanner doesn't move for over 30 minutes, it shows that you stole 7 minutes from the Postal Service.
I didn't steal time. I did my job and took my 30-minute lunch. So now you're accusing me of going over and stealing time from the Postal Service?
I am not taking the fall for you stealing time from the Postal Service. This will lead to discipline.
Wait, discipline? I need to talk to my union steward.
This discussion's over. You do not need your steward.
In that scenario, the supervisor begins his interrogation of the carrier at her case and ultimately threatens her with discipline. When the carrier becomes aware she needs a steward, she potentially asks too late. You see, you have the right to talk to your steward before management asks you questions. You have the right to know what those questions are in relation to their investigation, and during the process, your steward does not have to remain a silent observer. Now let's take another look at the same situation handled when the carrier is a little more knowledgeable of her Weingarten rights.
Good morning. Hey, what happened yesterday? It looks like you took a 37-minute lunch.
Good morning. Do I need my steward present for this?
I don't know, do you? I was just asking why you extended your lunch yesterday. You don't have anything to hide, do you? Just answer the question.
Please don't tell me lies. If this discussion is going to lead to discipline or termination, I need my steward.
You don't need a steward. I was just asking why you extended your lunch yesterday. You are aware this is considered stealing time, right?
Again, I need my steward present. Once my steward is present, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions.
Okay, fine. I'll go get your steward for you.
Thank you.
In that last scene, the employee is well versed in her Weingarten rights. An important note, a union steward cannot exercise Weingarten rights on your behalf. You, as the employee, must ask for representation. If management tells you you don't need representation, you can politely remind them that once your steward is present, why, you'd be happy to answer any and all questions they may have. And at any point during an interview, you can still ask for representation, in spite of the fact that you may not have asked for it at the beginning. If you believe, I'll be fine without a steward, you may want to think again. Although you might be smart, you should never, under any circumstances, participate in any questioning without a union steward. An important fact, if you are called to a meeting with management, whether that's the U.S. Postal Inspectors or an agent of the Office of Inspector General, you have Weingarten rights, and you should exercise them anytime you are asked a question that could lead to discipline, regardless of how or where that question is asked. Brothers and sisters, that sums it up for another episode of Full Coverage. On behalf of Branch 1779, thanks for watching. We hope to see you next time. Take care of yourself.